Aloha! My last week here before heading up to the mountains, the complete opposite of this. So I'll be sending you the next one from the snow of Sun Valley. It's been an amazing trip for me here. So needed and healing for sure. Really one and the same. And balance, something I talk about a lot. Balance. I've gotten recalibrated and balanced out this trip. That little look was, I got a lot more to go, a lot more to do, but I really have taken great strides, and I can feel it in every part of my soul. And I have been really very reflective in a healthy way about my life this trip. And I've come away with an even more overwhelming sense of gratitude for this blessed journey that I've been on of going after my dreams. I realize most of you have come to this newsletter because you either wanted to study with us, or you have studied with us, or or somebody told you something maybe, but regardless, you're a dreamer. That's for damn sure. And I've often said, I always thought going after your dream, following your passion would be easier, but as I really take inventory of this journey and think about all the blessings, all the miracles, don't get caught up in the religious woo-woo sense of that, but whatever you want to call it, just stuff happening as the hourglass was just running out, just miracles, because I believe with all my heart and soul that this human experience rewards, supports courage. This human experience rewards and supports those of us who are dedicated to figuring out what our true purpose here is to bring forth. And if you can find the courage to go after it, the miracles, the blessings that will follow, the crumbs along the path sometimes that'll light the, that you're, yes, this direction, you're yes, this way. I've had so many moments of that. Crumbs, little lights in the darkness of what to do and where to go next. As I sit here, I think it would be maybe sometime I can do a series of these stories to help inspire you. After 33 years, I've had so many miracles happen in my life and my career. A friend once said, I'm embarrassed I don't have more faith. I do have faith. I do, big time. I'm working on some new ones right now. It's like, which one do I share right now? The courage it takes to follow your heart and pursue your dream. Here's one for you. I'll tell you this one. Just before I began my career, my dream, I was working in outside sales for a corporation, and they, a customer that I called on was wildly successful, and they were from Chicago, and they didn't want to stay in Northern California anymore. They were having kids. Their wives didn't want to stay in the Bay Area. They wanted to be around their families back in Chicago. So these guys who had built up this wildly successful business in a 10-year chapter needed to move back home. And so I reached out to them to let them know I was, that I wanted to meet, because I needed to let them know I was quitting to become an actor at age 29. I had to go to all my accounts and let them know. Some I just said I was quitting. Some I didn't have that kind of relationship with, but these I had a great relationship with. So I told them. I told them I needed to meet, and I was going to tell them the truth. And they said, well, that's ironic. We want to meet with you. And they didn't tell me what it was about, so I had no idea. So here we go. I swear to God, it's like out of a movie. You go first. No, you go first. That's what we did. We sat there at lunch, and they go, you go first. I go, oh, you go first. And they go, all right. And they laid it out. Now, I had waited 3 years. From the time I discovered I wanted to be an actor, I spent 3 years getting in shape, getting my shit together. I did. I got out of debt, saved money, quit bad habits, bad friends, bad influences, bad everything. Anything negative, man, I addressed. I turned myself into a frickin' Navy SEAL badass Marine. I did. I was in the best shape I've ever been in my life, physically, emotionally, mentally. I was rock solid. And 3 years. And I mean, I went after it like a religion, because again, I heard this was kind of competitive, and I was starting late, and no one thought it was a good idea, and yet I knew in my soul that this is what I was put on this earth to do. So I needed to step up. I needed to take it to a whole new level, and I did. And so I'd waited 3 years to go. And sitting across from me at this lunch table, these guys proceed to say to me, look, they lay it out. Our wives aren't happy. They want to move. We're going to offer you a base salary. I'm just going to tell you what it was, okay? This is in 1987. Ready? I probably made $75,000 that year with a bonus expense account car. It was a nice little, comfortable little gig as I feathered the bed to get out of here. And they said, we'll give you a base salary of $500,000. It's a true story. On top of that, percentages, if you keep business at a certain level, this percentage, if you increase this percentage. Basically, the package was worth a minimum of $600,000 and more like $750-ish if I just did anything and didn't screw things up. And it was either a cruel joke from life, either testing me or tempting me. You call it what you want, but that's how it felt. It felt like I was being tested. Pearls to swine. How bad do you really want this, Jim? And I proceeded to tell them, well, I'm going to quit this job and move to New York and become an actor at age 29. And as generous as your offer is, and they said, whoa. Basically, dude, wait a year, wait 2 years. You know, you needed to save some money. You spent 3 years wanting to go, and you're setting the table, and this is falling from the freaking sky. This will help feather that bed like nothing else. Feather the house. Wait a year. Think about it. Think about it over the weekend. I drove from San Jose back to Sausalito, where I lived at the time. I sat all weekend with it, but honestly, I didn't need to. I mean, believe me, it was tempting in terms of just the monetary, but the soul, there was no temptation whatsoever. And the truth of the matter is there was no temptation. And I came back to them on Monday, met with them in person, out of respect and courtesy for their generosity, and said to them, I'm gonna get on a plane and move to New York and become an actor. That's what I'm gonna do. I greatly appreciate your offer and your confidence, but that's what I'm gonna do. And so 2 weeks later, after getting married that next weekend, my wife and I got on a plane and moved to New York City to begin this dream at the age of 29. No training, no experience, no relationships, no nothing. And 3 weeks later, I was sitting in the office of Sanford Meisner. I was sitting face to face with one of the most legendary acting teachers in the world. I remember thinking, I don't even care if he accepts me. That's how naive I was and grateful. You talk about crumbs lighting the way. You talk about a little crumb, a little light on the path. I just felt like this was a confirmation that 3 weeks into this, how it even came about, how I even got to him. this teacher, this iconic teacher at the end of his life, how a 29-year-old with no training, no experience, how in the hell I'm sitting in front of him was a miracle. And I believe with all my heart and soul, confirmation, support from, you call it whatever you want, God, your angels, the universe, divine source, just being this human experience, whatever you want to call it, whatever. So the phone rang while I was finishing that off, and then when the phone rings, it kills the video. So I'll try to be brief. So whatever you believe in, I believed with all my heart and soul that this was confirmation, that this was a blessing of my courage, the universe rewarding me for my congruency and my integrity in terms of what it is. Not that there's anything wrong with going after money. I don't mean that for a second. It's just that I knew I was being tempted, seduced, this little carrot being dangled. I knew that, and by refusing that, and 3 weeks later, I'm in front of Sanford Meisner. I often say, and I mean it, the greatest break of my career happened 3 weeks into it. That's the truth. The greatest break of my career happened at the very beginning when I was introduced to Sandy, and then not just sitting there in front of him, but guess what? You know, invited to study with him in his professional private class, and then from there, after the 2-year training, being asked by him to be his teacher, to carry on his teaching legacy. Oh, are you kidding me? I have the most blessed, beautiful life because of him and because of my courage and my willingness to take that leap of faith. So, pearls to swine is a phrase I agree with. You know, I got more on this topic. I think I'll beat this drum for a bit, okay? In hopes that it inspires you during these crazy times to find a little more courage and another gear, okay? Aloha.